Welcome back. I hope that everyone got their interactive notebook set up. Everything, your table of contents is ready and your pages are numbered and you are ready to go. And what are you ready to do? Hopefully you're ready to start taking some notes. So today I want to talk to you about Cornell Notes. Because Kennedy Middle School is an avid demonstration school, excuse me, all of our students are required to follow many of the avid principles, one of those being Cornell Notes. And again, that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. Now, when we take Cornell Notes, we have to make sure that our page is set up properly for the notes. So let's talk about the setup first. Okay, we can see there is a lot going on here, but let's break it down. In the top right-hand corner, you're going to write your name, period, and date. Now, this is obviously if you're using a loose leaf sheet of paper. Because in science we use the interactive notebooks, let's just make sure that we get the date in the top corner. And of course, that's going to help us keep our table of contents as well. Across the top of the page in the center, we're going to write our topic and our essential question. So what is that question that we are addressing in the notes? What are we trying to figure out? Then our paper gets divided into a few major sections. Go ahead and take a ruler and draw a line down about 2.5 inches in and about 3/4 of the way down the page. And then you're going to draw another line from the line you've drawn all the way over to the right. And I'll show you an example in just a second. And this divides our paper into 3 main areas. We now have a left-hand side column. We have a large right-hand side column where the bulk of our notes are going to go. And we have an area at the bottom now, specifically for summaries. So, again, in that large area is where you're going to do your class notes. Whether they're notes from a lecture like this one, or maybe from the book, or maybe from a movie, the bulk of the notes are going to go in that large right-hand side section. On the left-hand side, this is a really important side for us. This is where we're going to take our notes and turn them into questions, things that maybe we can quiz ourselves on. We're going to try to make connections to other events. We're going to try to put a little bit of our own opinion in there. Maybe some vocabulary terms. And then at the bottom, in that third area, is where we're going to have a summary. 3 to 4 sentences about what our class notes were trying to tell us. So again, 3 distinct areas: our class notes, our connections and our questions, and our summary. And specifically in that summary, we're going to do that at the end of all the notes that we take on a section. Doesn't have to be every page of notes, just at the end of a section of notes. And again, 3 to 4 sentences. And we're going to do that after our questions and our inferences are finished. Okay, let's practice this. So turn to the next right-hand side in your EN and let's set it up like we're taking Cornell Notes. The topic or main heading, our essential question that we're going to be addressing, is how to take good notes. So go ahead and let's get that set up. You're going to draw a line down the right-hand side about 2.5 inches, down the left-hand side about 2.5 inches in. You're going to draw that down, all the way down, and then you're going to have a section at the bottom for our summary. Okay, now that we have our page set up for Cornell Notes, our essential question, what we're addressing today, is why take notes? And so our notes are going to go in that main right-hand side area. Cornell note-taking stimulates critical thinking skills. It's not just about writing down everything that you see or read, but it's really to stimulate critical thinking. It's going to remember what is said in class or the lecture or the notes. It's a good set of notes that can help students work on assignments and prepare for tests outside of the classroom. Now let's stop there for a second because I want you to take a look at the slide in front of you. You can see that there are some key things that are highlighted there. So we're not writing down everything that's on the slide. We're only writing down some key things. Let's remember that. Good notes allow your students to help each other problem solve. They help you organize and process data and information. And they help you recall by getting you to process that information at least 3 times. You're going to be taking the notes, you're going to be developing a question, and you're going to be doing a summary. So in that time, you've already seen that topic 3 times. And of course, writing is a great tool for learning. Some other keys to good note-taking. Date and page numbers are essential to really keep you organized. And so we already have our date in the upper right-hand corner. And of course, your pages are already numbered in your EN. Making sure to use the headings to keep your notes flowing and organized. Make sure your notes are brief, not a carbon copy. You don't want to write down everything that you see. Only the main idea or key information. When doing your books, find the significance of a key term. That doesn't mean just to write the definition, but really get an understanding of what that term is telling you. And that's going to help you if you need to create a glossary. Or if you see that word in a reading or in the text, you're going to have a much better understanding of what that word means. Create your own abbreviations or shorthand. You can do this in Cornell Notes. Again, you don't have to write down absolutely everything you see. You can put things in abbreviated form. You can put things in your own shorthand as long as you can understand it. That's the important part of Cornell Notes. Now, remember though, abbreviations can't be used in formal writing, so don't try that with your language arts teachers. You want to put the notes in your own words. It's going to help you understand it better. Now, you need to use highlighters and different colored pens and maybe colored pencils and drawings. You can do all of this in your Cornell Notes. Make it important to you. And of course, review your notes daily. That is a great habit to get into. Take a few minutes to review your notes every night. That's going to help you come up with some really good summaries also. Now, you need to come up with questions and add them to that left side of your Cornell Notes. That's a huge part of Cornell. You might want to leave some space when you're doing your book notes. If a significance or importance is given during a lecture, maybe when your teacher is going over things, it gives you space where you can add that information. And always create a summary at the end for clarity to make sure you're clear on everything that those notes are telling you. So, what goes on the left? What type of questions should you use? If you don't understand something or if you want to discuss it with your teacher or maybe a partner in class, make sure you note that there. If you would, information that you think would be good on an essay, maybe write a question about that on that left-hand side. If there's a gap in your notes and you're really not sure about something, you can notate it there as well. Now, do you have to have a question after every sentence you write? Of course not. But try to get an idea in your notes into a question form. So, now, the summary. At the bottom of your page, write a little summary about what we just discussed about Cornell Notes. Remember, it only has to be a few sentences. Well, here's mine. Note-taking is not dictation or copying from the text. Develop your own system of abbreviation. Make the notes as brief as possible. And after taking notes, review them and highlight the important words, phrases, or dates. And then add questions or connections on the left-hand side of your papers next to your notes so that reviewing is essential and key to great study habits. And after doing that, make sure you summarize each section to make sure you understand what you have read. So you can see, I've got just a couple of sentences, but that really tells me what Cornell Notes are all about. Okay, so I want you to practice again. Let's get out our next page and let's get it set up for Cornell Notes and ready to practice some more. Remember what goes where. Don't forget your heading with your date. Don't forget your essential question across the top. Make sure you remember that your notes go in that large right-hand column. Make sure you know that your questions and subtitles go in the left-hand column. And remember, higher order thinking questions. And your teacher is going to talk to you more about those types of questions that you can use. And I'll show you an example in just a second. And then an area at the bottom for a brief summary. All right, have fun with your Cornell Notes.